Right. So there was a warning given out to Britain. It was, do not, under any circumstances, allow the gypsies of other nations that you now feel responsible or upset about you're living better than them because some asshole somewhere else guilted you into it like a fucking dickhead. If you continue and proceed to open up a institution, Christian or not, in your Sea of Tranquility, is what I call the North Sea, around the sphincter of British Isle, I said if you open an institution of any kind of educational facility, you issue visa to anybody outside of your land mass, that is all acceptable to whatever woke up in that year there, for now until forever. You open your doors to teach anyone around the world anything, read, write, anything with English. It'll be considered an act of war, and immediately you will be descended upon in order to close such institution and kill all that attended. That's how you keep God's language in God's house, being the Christian one. Because the Muslims, some of them have one language, another has Arabic script. Then you have the Torah that has their own language. The law of the land was English. I don't need false institutions of London and a false kingdom teaching management and other children of the world how to get one over on management. That's like, it's self-defecating, you fucking stupid twit in a fucking cunt crown that can't fucking think outside the box and think like the enemy to prevent, or don't have a commander that stands there and gives you the right fucking instructions to make you look better to all the bleeding hearts and cause the world. I mean, you put yourself in danger for, like, it's an act of war. It's an act of war against the US and all of the nations that it serves. That being Islam, that being the Christian nation, that being an English-speaking Northern Latin America, that being the Canadians who didn't approve you fucking making yourself God status, Elizabeth. One of us looks over the entire US. It's a customarily white job because there's one white me and one white Nicklaus. And we know what's good for Fleet and for the US and for all the countries involved. And then there's individual management we call, and we can say why. We may give one a certain answer, but that's because they're a different colored fruit. The fact that you would open up scholarly institutions, fancy yourselves God, without alerting anyone else to the danger, and the fact that Catherine the Great, Queen Victoria, I think I even put Queen Anne on that one for a fourth, and then myself as Goddess Nicole and Tsarina Nicole, the Duchess of future New York. However the fuck God works their equipment. And whatever that word means, and there is no such thing. The day after tomorrow is what I think that you call it at your level. So I'm just curious, how did Elizabeth get away with like something like a Cambridge fancy institution of like really smart, educated people that invited all of the world's poor children that needed to stay poor because Elizabeth had already caused other issues elsewhere with money and partnerships and taking a royal seat that she wasn't deserving of and ignoring other royals that were desperately deserving and needed to get to a certain position to quell other arguments at other countries with dads and papas that were on the borderline of understanding based on the English and the whatever. It's an act of war, Elizabeth. You've been doing it for over 80 years. there a reason why the U.S. allows you to get away with that? I'm just curious. I'm a citizen of the USA, and there's a whole lot of skin changes in my neck of the woods before my lifetime and in my lifetime. How did you get away with that? Just curious.